Hi, welcome in. If it's your first time here, I am Penta. I've been cosplaying for over 13 years now, I think, if the math is mathing. If you follow me on Twitch, you already know what this video is going to be about. If you don't, basically, well, I want to bring you guys with me along this journey of building the most massive project I've ever done in my life. So during the pandemic, I did start a series that I want to continue now as well, which was basically me showing you little details of the cosplays that I've done, why I did that way, what was the particular reason why it ended up being that way and why not another way, and how I would do it differently if I was going to do that outfit now, that cosplay today again. But this time I want to do something a little bit different. So on Twitch I do live, I do make the cosplays live, and I am explaining more or less like my idea behind that, why I'm doing this, why I'm choosing this material instead of the other. So you guys see it live, you see it happening as it goes, you know, the good and the bad. However, some people aren't able to check Twitch at the time I do stream, and they don't see the VODs maybe, and the VODs then go away after a couple of weeks, when sometimes I actually forget to publish the VODs because they're not automatically going up. So basically what I decided to do was, you know, bring it a little bit back to YouTube. It has been a few years since I've done like a tutorial for YouTube. So basically what's going to happen with this massive project is that I want to bring you guys with me. It's going to take months. I have no deadline, nothing whatsoever, like materials. I have like just a couple of things. I don't have everything, because if you don't know, I actually moved, so I don't even have a dedicated workspace to do this massive project. So yeah, it's going to be an adventure. Also, on the last 3 or 4 years, I did give some workshops on time management, planning projects, all of those things, and it's something I used to talk a lot about with my students in class back in Spain, is how I manage the times, how I manage a project, how I break everything down. And also do that a lot on Twitch, like, okay, let's plan this project, that's what we are going to do. And so that's basically our first video, okay? That's why we're here today. We are going to talk a little bit about this project in particular, how I'm breaking it down, the tools that I'm using to plan for it and to keep myself organized and everything. So if you're beginning cosplay, if you are new to all of this crazy world of, you know, the million crafts into one, well, welcome in. I hope you like, and if you have any questions, start writing them down on the comment section. I try my best to always answer super fast, or if I see it's like something that it will take me a while to explain, I might even use that a question and turn it into a video. First things first, this project is massive. As I was like breaking it down on a live a couple of weeks ago, it was when it sank that this is the biggest, more complex project that I've ever built in my life. So it's an adventure. Like, I've been kind of running away from Sakiso dresses, even though I have way too many on my cos plans. But I fell into this one, and the dress is this. It's behind the prayers of the Infinity Nikki game. It's a dress that came out in one of the most recent updates when we moved from Minaland to Itzaland, I think. I'm not saying this wrong. I do play the game, by the way. I am slightly addicted to the game. I do not spend any money on the game, though, even though it's a gacha game, I know. But I'm able to, every time I want, like, I was like, okay, if I spend here, I don't have money for fabrics or any other material, so... But anyway, as you can see, this is absolutely massive. Okay, there are way too many details, and as you start like looking closely to this cosplay, to this dress, you see the teeny tiny details that it has. So basically what I did was, first things first, well, yeah, I've decided on the project. Okay, that's step one, decide the project. Step two, okay, in this case, we are going to break this down by steps. So step one was choosing a project. So this is my, you know, new odyssey for the next few months, probably a couple of years. So this will be a long series. So now that I've like, okay, I'm seeing this. This was not like 100% final decision, okay? It was like, okay, I want this one. So what I did next was look for references. That's a really important thing, especially if you are starting out or if you are not sure about, you know, your skill level yet, or if you feel confident enough to do this or that. Look for references. In this game, since it's a game, I have the game, and I actually have this dress in game. I was able to get the dress in game. The really important thing is to go to it. So I did two ways. Once, like, I installed it on my iPad and I started doing print screens from the iPad. But then I was like, okay, this is not giving me lot of detail. I need more close-ups. I need a bigger screen. So I actually went to the PlayStation, because that's actually where I usually play. I don't play mobile, the mobile version. I play on the PS5. And there I was able to, you know, really zoom in on the costume, do screen saving thingies. And yeah, it's when I started like breaking down the costume and taking off the layers to kind of understand how everything is built. So obviously the people who designed this were not thinking, oh, there will be someone crazy enough to try to actually make this in real life. So we have starting to seeing some issues. We have no zippers. Apparently, everything is one single dress, like the corset, the skirt, the blouse, everything is one single garment, which is not fun. But anyways, I kind of went down and doing a lot of print screens as zoomed in as possible, you know, on the PlayStation. Then I moved that to the PlayStation app and I've downloaded it on my computer. And it was then that I was able to like really zoom in on the details and start seeing and start breaking down the project. So this is my step 3, okay? One is like, you know, choosing the Pokemon, kind of, to checking all the references possible, like as many as possible. There is no such thing as too many references, okay? That does not exist, especially in a massive project like this, that it's going to be a challenge. So the step 3 is actually to break it down in bits, because you see this, you may think, oh my god, like this is absolutely insane, it's massive, like where do you start? Well, that's the next step. We break it down into all the teeny tiny bits that we are going to need to do in this cosplay in particular. So I have my notes right here to plan this project. I've been going back and forth between two systems online. And lately I've been using a lot Notion. So Notion is really, really practical. This is not sponsored in any way, by the way, but I've been using Notion ever since I was starting to plan the moving from Spain to Belgium. And this is really practical because basically the Notion works on Android, Windows, Mac, like it, you know, it's not a problem. So it's really, really practical for me to have everything there, since I've been actually using it to plan my weeks, because I like to have a weekly planner. But with the move, it's easier for me to have it digital. And because it actually works really, really well. So I can have it on my phone or my iPad, and I can, just move from thing to thing, and I always have it there. It's always updated. It's really cool. So I've decided to try this time to use it for organizing this massive project. And basically I have it all here. I will be inserting, screenshots of everything here. Thing that I've started seeing, basically I've started building it from the big picture for this and the smaller picture, basically. Okay, I went from out to the detail, and then I went to the detail out, because there are many things that are hidden between layers or underneath many layers. So the first thing we can clearly see that it's absolutely massive is the headpiece, the gold headpiece, and the veil. It's a cathedral veil, for what I could find a name for it. It's a cathedral veil. It's absolutely massive. The challenge here will be to get, the fabric with the width that I wish. If not, I already think I have a solution, by the way. So I have a problem when I start building a project. I'm really, really super focused on that. And the other big thing is the dress. Okay, so like I said, in game they designed this as a dress. It's not a blouse with a corset with skirts. No, it's everything one single layer. Everything is one. Like the blouse, the corset, the skirt, everything is one single layer. So challenge accepted. People who designed this, challenge accepted. And so to build this, what I've decided is to think inside out, okay? So first things first, this is going to be a really heavy costume, okay? There are many layers of fabric. There are some heavy fabrics involved here, and it's going to take a toll on my body. So first things first, I'm going to do a corset. I'm going to work on the undergarments, and I want to be as comfortable as possible. So the undergarments that I'm going to use for this will be a chemise, a white chemise, sleeveless, because here it will be sort of transparent. So yeah, it's going to be just a simple chemise. A corset, I'm going to make it white, since everything else is really light, and I know I could use a black corset, but I really want to, details. So I'm going to make a white steel wired boning corset. Okay, so because that will be the base to support everything else. I want to make a new pair of bloomers as well, because I feel really comfortable using, usually with the cosplays I use, pantyhose or stockings. But I feel really comfortable having something underneath. So if something happens, if I suddenly need to take off the costume, I want to have something underneath so people don't see my underwear. So basically I do bloomers, and it's time I make some new ones. I want to, make a new pattern for the bloomers. My pattern is really old. No, I'm 100% sure. It's still the same pattern I used back in 2015? Maybe? 2014? It's the same pattern I've used for Anna from Frozen 1. So yeah, it's time to update that a little bit. So that's for like the undergarments, okay? Also, for this course, for this cosplay in particular, I'm not sure I want to use a hoop skirt. I want to do a petticoat, and I'm going to do a little butt pad, you know, a bustle thingy. So to give me a little bit more volume on the back and also help to give a pretty shape that's not just like, you know, or super cupcakey. So it's going to be like, I'm going to do a butt and hip pad. So, and a petticoat. I'm going to do a brand new petticoat because I do have a couple of them, but they don't have like the shape, or even if I mix and match, I will not get the shape that I want. The closest that I have is the one that I use for Anastasia and that I've used for Rosalina as well in September. But I wanted white or cream or champagne colors, and that has a lot of gold and yellow. So if I lift the skirts, it won't look pretty, okay? You know, I know, it's like teeny tiny stupid details, but I really want to, you know, have it like I'm envisioning it. I really want to make justice to this cosplay. So now let's break down the dress, okay? And in this part, I really was zooming in and checking all the layers that I could see. And basically I saw quite a few. Being the first one, a white full skirt that has a few details on the skirt that I'm actually thinking of doing in HTV, so basically heat transfer vinyl. Okay, either that or I will print the design, cut it myself and apply it. Okay, so this is not like the hardest part. It's a white skirt with stuff on it, you know. I'm definitely not going to hand paint the fabric, at least not this one. Then on top of it, we have three. I wrote like 3/4, but it's not exactly a 3/4 skirt. Or organza with gold trim. So basically it's a transparent skirt with gold trim on it. There's not much to it. It's white, gold trim, next, call it a day, and pray that nothing happens to it as well, you know. Then we have on top of this gold panels. I wrote it basically 8 to 10 white panels with gold. So basically this will be a few like petals, I like think. So a few panels, you know, with gold details that I am going to be sewing or hand painting. I still haven't decided on which. But yeah, like it's going to be probably sewing. The panels will have like this pattern. I probably won't be doing them fully, like with the entire detail. I will do most details in the bottom and then fade it out on top. Also, so I can avoid adding even more weight to this project. But when we get there, we will make the final decisions. And basically right now I'm saying the things as I see them, because that's how I'm going to build this. I'm going to build everything from inside out, okay? So that way it's easier for me to see the shape that it's having, to maybe correct the shapes as I go, and it's better to work this way than out, like doing the big out shiny part first and then have to build the inside. It's going to be actually harder. So this is a tip, always work from the inside out, you know. You don't start the house by doing the top part, you do the foundation first. So it's the same principle we are applying here. Then we have a white panel with silver right in the front. Again, I will do most of the work in the bottom and then fade it out to the top, because this is not going to be super overworked until like the waist. Then we have 2 gold panels with, I wrote here, hand embroidery plus gems or beads. And yeah, these two panels are massive, and I really want to do them, like the embroidery by hand. This is going to take ages, but the pattern itself is really, really pretty. So, I mean, and this cosplay deserves like some sort of like hand embroidery. I love hand embroidering. I haven't done it since Anna and Sakura from Tsubasa Chronicles. So that was the last time I did a lot of hand embroidery, which was like my dress and my friends who was cosplaying Shaoran. But anyways, we are going to go back to hand embroidery, so yay! And we are going to try some new hand embroidery techniques that I've been studying for the last few months. Because, you know, before I actually do something crazy, I do spend a lot of time like watching videos, looking for tutorials, looking for books, reading stuff, analyzing what other cosplayers did. And in this case, many of my go-to references are people that do Sakiso cosplays, you know, because many techniques that are here are used in those cosplays, so that's always super, super helpful. I don't know anyone, I couldn't find anyone who has cosplayed this dress, because obviously this is insane. When they do Infinity Nikki or Shining Nikki or Love Nikki or any of the Nikki games, they go towards kind of easier things or things that can be bought. Not this insane stuff, but someone has to do it, and like it seems like it's going to be me. Then on top of all of these panels, let's go back to layers. On top of all of these panels, we have another 3/4 skirt with a pattern, which this, yes, I will probably be painting by hand the pattern on the fabric, or I'll do some stamps. I'll put it in like, you know. Then we have another skirt on top that has some sort of a grid pattern, and that I will be sewing some trim and add probably some beadwork to it. And both of these two layers have like a trim, and that trim also has an embroidery. That embroidery, I probably will be doing it with the machine. So I will be mixing different types of embroidery, hand embroidery, machine embroidery, but obviously I will have to design everything myself because these don't exist. I did look already for some fabrics with religious like iconography, but they do not match this, so I'd rather do the print myself. Now then, this is for the skirt. It's for the waist down. From the waist up we do have a blouse. And that blouse has a lot of lace and it's long sleeved. However, when we close up, we can see like the sleeves have sleeves on top, you know, that doesn't help, I know, but it's sleeves on sleeves. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to do the shirt with lace, but with a thin underlayer so the lace isn't like scratching me, because it's going to have like a little bit of a collar and, you know, lace here, there. So that way I can, you know, use another layer of fabric underneath. That will also help me hide the seams inside, so the lace isn't like, the seams of the lace aren't that visible, you know, the French seams and all of these details and serging, blah, blah. So yeah, it's going to be two fabrics. So yes, this is going to be crazy, crazy hot, this costume. I probably will need someone with a fan to go like so I don't die. But yeah, I will be making that blouse. That blouse will have a zipper in the back. In the reference in the game there are no zippers, so she just puts it on by magic, but she's also kind of a magical girl. But I will do an invisible zipper on the back, which with the hair and everything won't matter because no one's going to see it, but I do need to put this somehow. And then I will do separate sleeves to put on top here, and I will be attaching those somehow with hooks probably. And then there are some crystals that go here on the sleeves. Those I'll do some armband, and I'll just attach it on the clothing. That way I can also remove it easily to be washed and not ruin like the little armband with the jewelry and the details and blah 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 blah. Next comes the corset. That top part is going to be a corset. I'm already investigating patterns. It's probably going to be the only thing I don't pattern from scratch. Because, you know, without everything else, like, give me a break. Let's use someone's pattern if it works. But yeah, I still need to, you know, decide on the pattern for that skirt, for that corset in particular. Then we have a choker necklace, basically, because then comes all the jewelry. You know, and we are going to be making jewelry! Yeah! Yay! For the first time! Yay! So it's a choker necklace. We have also earrings. Then we have I call it like an over pearl layer necklace. Basically, it's a huge necklace that goes on top of everything else that has a lot of pearls. Then we have the gloves that also has things on top. Then I have like bracelets. And then hanging from these bracelets, I have like, there's mini cages, you know, like mini. Then we have the gold headpiece, which is going to be, actually it's the part that I'm most scared of. It's that headpiece, because if you really check the reference and turn it around and everything else, the huge ass veil is attached to the top of that. So it has to be light, but at the same time sturdy enough to hold the weight of the veil, even though the veil will be made of tulle or organza and some train, you know, but still, it's a lot of weight and stuff, like, you know, on the floor. Then besides that, there's like this silver headpiece as well, like sort of tiara kind of thing with pearls hanging over my face. And then there are some brooches on the skirt as well, on the back. I only saw that like when I really zoomed in, but there are some brooches on the skirt. There's also like a little brooch thing on the chest, and then there's the really big cage that she has. There's like a really big cage, it's like a prop, you know, besides the tiny cages that are hanging from the wrists. Then there's this massive wig that is super long. It's not, actually the wig is actually what worries me the less, because it's basically a really long wig that is kind of loose, that has some sort of a half of updo. That what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own hair extensions, and when I put the costume on, basically I will be able to put those extensions in. In my mind, this idea is looking perfect because it's easier to put on and off. I can protect the hair with some tulle. I can then put like things on the tulle. In my hair, this sounds awesome. And yeah, basically this is the plan. I don't know what you guys think of it, but I think this is a plan. And yes, I've purposely left out shoes, because those shoes are a sight of a nightmare, you know. They are crazy complex and have many details. We shall leave the shoes for the end. Or for never. Now, I will be making the shoes as well to match the cosplay, but we will have to see, because for, you know, health reasons, and I'm an old lady, I won't be able to have all this dress with all of this weight. I don't even want to think how much this is going to weigh altogether. That and high heels. So I will be working on a comfier option, still with the theme and the same aesthetic, but we will do that. And if you want to know my point of view on shoes, we can talk about that in a different video, you know. But yeah, this is basically it. And as I'm going to be uploading this video, I've already started working on this. I'm already working on the corset, the butt pad, and the pattern for the bloomers, and maybe the chemise as well. So It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a massive, massive project. So you already know, like, if you have any questions, you can leave in the comments down below. If you want to see it being built live, you can go to my Twitch and join me in this crazy adventure. And yeah, otherwise, I will be giving you updates on little videos here on YouTube, checking in, showing the progress, and showing like what I'm doing. So the next video will probably be like about the undergarments, like the corset and all of those things. And whew, are you ready for this? Because I'm not. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you soon. Bye.